Honored to have my next guest with us in person, no less. You know him very well, Michael Waltz, the Florida Republican Congressman, House Armed Services Committee, House Science, Space, and Technology Committee, a former Green Beret. Generally, I don't ask tough questions of a guy who can beat me up, and he's in person, so I'm going to see what I can do. Anyway, Congressman, an honor to have you.
Hey, good to be with you.
Thank you, as always, for your service, sir. Let me get your sense. So much going on with the economy and all, but you know, the backdrop here is this craziness with Russia, Vladimir Putin, even mentioning tactical nuclear weapons.
Right.
China, you know, provocative by the hour, minute, day with Taiwan and so much else. That's a twin threat that we sometimes get lost at talking about inflation, which is a big issue.
Yeah. Well, I was just out in Taiwan, the Philippines, and Guam. And increasingly, the sentiment is not if China invades Taiwan, it's just when. There's a debate about when it's going to happen.
It's gotten to that point.
It's gotten to that point, and
China
this
has
is coming from
the risks, right? But it doesn't care.
Well, this is, I think, the risks are becoming more manageable from Xi's standpoint. He's solidified power in his own hands. He humiliated his predecessor. He just got a third 5-year term.
The guy was walking out. I mean, he's a former leader of the country.
I mean, it was like a scene out of a mafia movie, right? And that is never been done in modern Chinese history. So he's solidified power, and he is putting the pieces in place to not only be able to invade Taiwan militarily by 2027. That's when he's told his military to be ready to go, but also stop the United States from intervening, including being able to sink our aircraft carriers, take out our assets in space, and they're rapidly modernizing their nuclear weapons so they have a deterrent there. And so it's incredibly concerning. What's so bothersome about this new strategy that the Biden White House has released, it mentions China 9 times. It mentions the various services, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Space Force, once, even though they're in the midst of a recruiting crisis right now. It mentions climate 63 times and says they have to double down on rooting out extremism in the military, even though their own study says it's virtually non-existent. So there is a disconnect between what we know we need to do strategically and what we see this Pentagon actually doing. And oh, by the way, with inflation, the last budget they introduced was a cut.
Let me ask you a little bit about then their thinking on China. And maybe it's on the view that a lot of people who just follow money say, well, it's not in China's interest to do something like that because they'd be economically isolated around the world, much like Russia has. And they have a lot more at stake. They're a much larger economic power, a lot more money involved.
Right.
Why would they do that?
Well, a couple of reasons. One, it's ideological. Number two, Xi is a dictator. He has established his rule for as long as he wants to be there, and he sees it absolutely as part of his legacy. In fact, in his speech last week, he said, we are not going to pass on the Taiwan issue to a future generation. This will be settled on my watch. And then number three, he also, if you follow closely economically, is creating independence for China technologically and in other key areas, but then also creating dependence, global dependence, whether it's on lithium, pharmaceuticals, even rail cars. And that's where I think Wall Street in this city needs to wake up. There is a very serious potential conflict coming, and the key part of the Chinese strategy is to use our supply chains against us. Will the United States public support a defense of Taiwan if the Chinese Communist Party cuts off our antibiotics, which we no longer produce here? Wow. If they cut off lithium to our batteries for this green new economy, you know, we can go down the list of things that we are completely dependent on China now to manufacture. We've got to get those supply chains out of there. We've got to bring them back here, or at least get them to an allied country where they're not going to be used against us.
What if it's too late?
Well, this is a race against time at this point.
Real quickly, politics, you don't mind getting back to that and how you think the midterms are shaping up.
Can't avoid it.
Looks good for Republicans in the House. What about the Senate?
Look, I think we take 25 to 30 seats in the House. Wow. You know, there are far more people that are worried about groceries and gasoline than they are abortion, which is being settled at the states, which is appropriate.
And you've been seeing record early voting in Florida as well.
We have.
Georgia as well.
Notably in Georgia, despite all of the outcry about voting rights, there's actually record numbers.
What is that telling you think? And it's a gut call, I know.
Well, we're just seeing it's not even a gut call. We're seeing in the data that that the motivation of voters, particularly on our side, that have had it with this economy, out of control crime, out of control border, and the world on fire, with our adversaries perceiving weakness in this White House, they're coming out to vote, and I think they're going to vote big time our way.
All right, Congressman, we'll see what happens. Thank you. Very good seeing you in the flesh.